You know what I'm saying? I know people are not listening to me. I be having like one viewer every 5 streams and shit. I be posting my shit up on YouTube. Nobody's listening. But it's like, look, I tried to tell people, dude. I tried. I was like, look, I'm not getting hyped about these games because, again, the shit has burned me, man. The shit has burned my ass enough times for me not to believe the hype. Everybody's been talking about Cyberpunk. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I didn't play it yet. But I've heard a lot of reviews, a lot of them. And I said it in the last video. I said it's going to be just like Red Dead Redemption. There's going to be a whole bunch of like stuff you could do in this game, but it's like it's almost like not it's almost like unnecessary but necessary at the same time cuz people want, different, they want a lot of things you could do in the game. But it's like you don't have to do that though. And one of the chick, her name was something start with a K, and she was from GameSpot. She said it. She was like there was some things, but it's like, why should I? What if I don't want to help out this cop? It was something or whatever. Whenever she said that, and I was like, see, it's just a whole bunch of stuff in that game that's just like me almost meaningless. And I'm like, see, that's how Red Dead got me. Like, oh, you could do this and this will happen. It'll make you do this, and the whole world will change. And then you get it. It's like, nah, none of that stuff. I didn't see it. Like she was talking about the crafting system. She only crafted one thing, and something else happened. And she was like, I only went shopping once. And I'm like, people overhyped this game. People overhyped it. It's almost like it's almost like if somebody was saying something to you and they was like, we're going to give you a luxury car, and you're like, okay, that's cool, I'm about to get a luxury car, and they're going to be like, oh, like it may be a Lamborghini, a Bugatti, a McLaren, something. It's a luxury car. And then it was like, you get it, like, here's your luxury car, and it's like a Honda Civic. And it's like I got a new car and everything, but I mean a Honda Civic. I ain't trying to throw shade on Honda Civics or nothing. No shade, but I'm just saying, like, you thinking it's like a luxury car. You thinking it's like a Rolls Royce or something, and then you end up getting this. And like I said, I'm not trying to throw shade at Honda. My grandmother got a Honda. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like people thought this was going to be something else. People overhyped this game. Some people do like it. Some people do like it for what it is. But it just feels like people almost wanted this to revolutionize something. That's it. They thought this was going to be on some like revolutionary shit. And like I said, I'm not saying that Cyberpunk is not a good game, or people that wouldn't like it But I'm just like, people's expectations about this was way too high. And it almost like I said with the Honda Civic analogy, like it's like I got a car. It's not a luxury car that I thought I was gonna get, but it's a Honda Civic. I mean, it's cool. And then it's like you got people that be like trying to um give excuses, like, the dashboard doesn't work, but I mean, I can eyeball how fast I can go. I mean, I could just match the car with the speed with the other cars around me. I mean, I really don't need a dashboard. I mean, who uses the dashboard anyway? Or it'd be like the brakes don't really work. Like, it's not a smooth transition of the brakes. I gotta mash hard, but as long as I'm not getting into any accidents, I mean, it works kind of. It's like I said, you put too much stock into this shit. You basically made this like this was supposed to be the second coming of Jesus or something. And it was like that's why I I, I told myself, especially after Red Dead Redemption, I was like, I'm never hyping. I'm not getting hyped or falling for the shit anymore. Even though I would say after Final Fantasy 15 4 years ago, I somewhat said it, but I was like, this is Rockstar, and this is like coming off of GTA, so I have enough trust and faith in them that they would deliver something great. And then playing it, it was just nah, it was just way too boring for me, man. And that's basically like not Cyberpunk. Not saying it's boring, but I'm just like with the hype of it, people just put too much into it. And I'm looking at it like, I mean, again, I'm not a first person shooter like fan. Like, I'm not into first person shooters. But like I said, damn, I'm not getting hyped over it though. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't getting hyped over it. And like you keep hearing these reviews, there's enough excuses, and there's like a lot of somewhat disappointment in people's like reviews of it. And I'm like, because on some real shit, like I was stating before, like I think people wanted this to revolutionize first person shooters, or just like it goes into my analogy about the Matrix and how everybody wants some psychological meaning to everything. Like with movies, like there's not just a bad guy. Like I'm twirling my mustache and putting a chick on the train tracks and like, oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna rule the world. It's like, no, I have to destroy society to make people feel like their animal instincts are just around the corner because their civil society could be broken like easily and it's fragile like human beings, and because human beings created a construct of, it's like, dude, okay, shut up, bro, stop. And that's basically what everybody's looking for. Like everybody's looking for this like thing to make like things just can't be what it is. It just has to be this deeper philosophical meaning to every little thing they do to give them a reason to get up at night. And it's like, nah, it's just this Cyberpunk is a first person shooter in the future. I'm not trying to like simplify it. I'm not trying to say anything. I mean, for those who actually like it, I mean, like I said, I like the genre of cyberpunk. I wrote a movie about the shit. I mean, I got the script. I mean, it's not an actual movie that's out. You know what I mean? It's called CPU. So the whole cyberpunk shit. I mean, it's great. I just wish it was in third person. Then it would be like, oh shit. But it's not, you know. But it's not. It wasn't going to revolutionize anything, and that's what people kind of wanted out of this. It's like there was only a few games that came out that I could think of off the top of my head that truly revolutionized gaming. That was the first Mario, because the industry was going to die until that popped up. Um, the whole 3D CD era, with the PlayStation 1, those era games, and GTA with open world. Even though I will argue that Mario 64 was open world ish, but I mean, like a true open world, that was GTA 3. Like, I don't think GTA is going to revolutionize anything beyond what they did in 3. It would be hard to do that. Because, I mean, it's like and I would say Doom, or whatever the first person shooter was, which I think Doom or Wolfenstein, one of those two, because it opened the world up for the first person genre. After that, like, they're gonna make a fourth person game. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I guess like the first video game, like with the Pong or Pac-Man or some shit like that. But there's not. It's like after that genre has been made, like, it's not going to revolutionize anything after that. It'll put some cool mechanics into it, but people is almost like looking for them to revolutionize this, and it's like, nah, this wasn't going to revolutionize the game genre. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I mean, that's kind of what people seem like they was like kind of hoping to get out of this shit, but nah. But like I said, I got it. Is it seemed like it already downloaded. I'm going to play it for what it is. I'm going to try to get into the first person genre with this game. Like, maybe this is going to like I don't know, maybe I'll feel, oh, okay, this is cool. Maybe I'll start getting into like other open, like first person shooters, like Overwatch or something, or whatever the case is. But but I just feel like people kind of got duped. No, I wouldn't say duped. That's too strong of a word. I'm not gonna say duped. Like I said, people's expectations was too high, and it was like, I'm pretty sure CD Projekt Red had too much pressure, like, on them. They was putting too much pressure on themselves, trying to make like a good game and shit. You know what I mean? And they knew that people was anticipating this. They would have to have known. But but then it's like all these bugs and shit I'm hearing. I'm like, damn. But I mean, to for me, I would say for me that really wouldn't have made a too big of a difference, cause it's like I'm used to the shit. Cause I mean, the division had mad bugs. I mean, how they frogged hop through buildings to get away from you. I mean, the glitches. I mean, the division was bad at that. So like Cyberpunk with some type of glitch or bugs, it's like, uh, I mean, that's not. I mean, again, why did you delay the game? Like, okay, it was supposed to come out in April, but then they delayed it. They said September. Then they delayed it again. It was in November. Then they, and especially in November when they said, "Oh, we got to put it out. We got to test it out for like 8 different platforms." So, okay, in your testing from November, and then you was going to release it no December 10th. You didn't see all these bugs and T poses people keep talking about. Like, what were you doing in that time? Like, you was playing the game, but you didn't see these issues. Like, and then it's like, oh, we got to make a day one patch, but you wouldn't have made a day one patch if you saw the bugs and said something about it, and then fixed it. And it's like, oh, but we couldn't have done it in a month. Then it's like, okay, like I hear that, but at the same time though, like you making this shit up, dude. I mean, I just find the lies and all the shit just ridiculous. Like, you didn't see none of these bugs when you delayed it. None. Bullshit, bro. And now people talking about the bugs and shit, and you know people are talking about it. I mean, why? How come you didn't fix it? That's what I want to know. And having patches when you knew this was broke or had bugs. Like, so nobody at CD Projekt Red saw the T poses and that dialogue overlapping and and what was the other thing people saying? Um, damn, what was the thing? Other thing people were saying? Oh, things floating in the air for no reason. I mean, you didn't see none of this shit, dude. See, that's what I'm saying. I just don't believe these like industry dudes like talking about stuff like this. I'm like, nah. But again, the pressure was insane, and the expectations was way too high. And this is the game. I mean, like I said, and then and then somebody who I don't know who it was, but somebody said what I've said about the division. And truth be told, a lot of these games, you people, I would say people might as well wait 6 months to a year to play the game. Like, it's like you buy it and then you just wait, or you wait till the shit comes out, like after 6 months to a year, and then buy it, because it's like the way these games are structured nowadays. It's like it's already coming. It already comes broken day one, but then you gotta wait for them to fix the shit. Like, as a consumer, you shouldn't have to wait for the shit. Like, once you buy the product, that's the product right there. That's the you get it. It shouldn't be like this whole I gotta buy it and wait later, or you put out a product, but it's like, oh, you gotta wait to buy it type shit. Like, what in what world or what universe is that cool? And it's like people keep falling for it, and these companies could get away with it. Like, we could fix it later type shit. I'm like, what world are you living in, dude? Like, with day one patch and people playing it without the day one. And how come you just couldn't just be a solid product from the start? I mean, it's just all this craziness, dude. I don't know what this is the shit people got. I really don't know what to say. But this is, like I said, this is what people got, and people's expectations was too high. I mean, the disappointment I hear in people's voices is just almost astonishing. Like, damn. It's like the air has been deflated. And there's some people saying they experience some bugs. Some people saying they don't. I'm like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. This was just way too hyped. It was just way too overhyped. You know, but to me, it might actually be a good game. But it's just, like I said, people's expectations was just too high, and there's like they don't want to admit the shit. Matter of fact, here's a prime example of what I mean. And now I'm playing GTA, and my friend was doing that stupid dude's mission, in the heist, that young ancestor, and he just thought that he was going to basically get in, like, we're pretty good at the heist, but he's on some shit like we're going to get in and we're going to sneak and everything. So he didn't blow up the helicopters and stuff from Dugan's like security. So they're all armored up. And we're sitting up there struggling to sneak in. But then it was like after, like, I would say 45 minutes, we just said fuck it and just tried to get the shit. And then we got outside, we keep dying. They just feel like bullet sponges. Now this is his shit. It wasn't my heist. So I'm basically tagging along. And I'm like, you shouldn't have cut corners. And he was like, yeah, I know. Like, kind of like, he honestly knew he fucked up. And so I'm like, after an hour, all we kept doing was failing. I mean, we was getting crushed like on a daily, like all day, every day. It was just, we was in the heist for at least, oh, come on, man. We was in a heist for at least more than like an hour. Like, no, yeah, more than, I'll say, like 2 hours doing the same shit over and over again. I mean, we finally got through it. No, he left. He switched it from when you just walk in as group sex and did you just get the shit. So he switched it. Now he comes back the next day talking about, oh, I think it was a glitch and all this other stuff. And I'm like, my man, I didn't say nothing to him yet, but I'm like, come on, dude. Like like that clearly wasn't a glitch. I mean, we was getting our asses handed to us, and you sitting up here making excuses. So it was like that was the whole moral of the story. Like people just keep giving like it's like shit that they wanna like, they wanna give excuses to it. And it's just like, nah, it was just GTA just had this shit so imbalanced that it was just unnecessarily hard if you don't do the whole security shit. It's just unnecessarily hard. And I'm thinking like a game, like I understand people lose. I get that. I understand people losing games. I understand like um the whole, you gotta try, gotta be challenging. But you shouldn't get to the point where you're dying on the same thing more than 3 times. After that, then it's something literally wrong with the shit. If you're literally down, and then it's not like you're not trying. I mean, it shouldn't get to the point where the enemies are that hard that you didn't do this thing that is just like damn near unbeatable or some shit. It should never get like that. And then especially like I said with what how his get down was, he was basically making excuses for it. I'm like nah, dude, there's no excuses. And that's what I feel like a lot of people like a lot of people's get down is these days. It's just making excuses for the shit they love. It's like, look, like we fucked up. The shit was hard. It was a nightmare. So just state that and say it with your chest and rock out with it. You ain't gotta make excuses, and they people making excuses for the cyberpunk shit, man. Cause like I said, I hear the disappointment in people's voices. I mean, it's just like I said, they was thinking they was getting a luxury car, and they ended up getting like a Toyota or something. Not shitting on Toyota, but I'm just saying. My grandfather had a Toyota, but like I said, I'm gonna try to enjoy this game. In matter of fact, this is gonna be Cyberpunk is the first person shooter I actually bought. Like I said, I got Deus Ex because it was free. Stop playing that. I got Destiny 2 because that shit was free. Stopped playing that a long time ago. Yeah, because that was another. I knew it was another first person that I had, but like I said, I played it like less than 2 hours, and I was like, nope, nope. Like after the character gets kicked off of the airship, and they go to the new land, there's like grass and that part. That's why I was like, nope. You see what I'm saying? So Cyberpunk is the first one that I bought, and I'm like, like let's see how to get down is. But yeah, I'm like these games. It's like I said, the disappointment is too much. It's too severe at this point. It's just way too severe at this point. I mean, and then truth be told, I was gonna use this opportunity to stream this shit on PlayStation 5. I got the PlayStation 5 camera. I got the motherfucking like, I got all my shit. Like I was thinking I was gonna have my shit set up, but the bots and everybody else, these greedy bastards, keep getting the PlayStation 5. So it's like fuck it. And so now I got nothing to stream but this. And then since we speak is talking about Rockstar, I got the Rockstar launcher. I was like, let me get Ballad of Gay Tony because that was my like favorite GTA. I was like, okay, let's get this cracking. Reconfigured my PlayStation controller on my PC. I was like, okay, I'm about to play it because I was going to test it out with Lost and Damned. But then you see the motorcycles and it's frozen, but you see the rain coming down. So I'm like, I can't even stream this on top of me creating my own shit. And then I'm like, and I can't get a PlayStation 5 to stream. Cause at first, when it was coming, when the Cyberpunk said they was gonna come out in November, I was like, okay. Like what was it, November 19th? I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the PlayStation, I'm gonna stream that. Then they pushed it back so to December 10th. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll get Watch Dogs Legion to stream it. Then I couldn't get a PlayStation 5, so I was like, damn. So I'm not gonna buy a PlayStation 4 camera when I got a PlayStation 5 camera and I should be playing the shit on the PlayStation 5. So I just might as well just put it on Twitch, but it'll just be no face cam until there is a face cam. Until I get a PlayStation 5 to stream the shit. But I'm like, damn. I mean, it's just like hit after hit after hit. It's nah, dude, it's trash. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, fuck it. There'll just be no face cam. And I'm gonna stream like after I create my character because I'm gonna be in that character creator for a long time. But I just feel like it's like a whole bunch of disappointment, dude. Just like a whole bunch of disappointment. And it almost seems unnecessary. It's 100% unnecessary. Like, damn, motherfuckers can't get a PlayStation. The Rockstar launcher is fucked up. Um, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, damn. Oh, and then there's another thing that another excuse people keep talking about, like, oh, because of COVID, we can't do this and we can't do that. It's like that's going to be the excuse for years. Oh, that's going to be the excuse. Like I would say for the next 2 to 4 years, that's going to be the excuse. COVID. Like if there's a problem with GTA 6, COVID happened while we was in the middle of doing this. And then um there was something else I was gonna say about that shit. Yeah, there was some. Oh yeah, and they're talking about like Cyberpunk is doing this. Look, don't think that these other game companies that got open world titles are not taking notes of this. You see what I'm saying? Like if they weren't going to be like on some outrageous shit before, after seeing Cyberpunk, it's good because the industry be stealing shit from each other. Again, like with the whole stealth mechanics. One nutsack got cool doing the shit with the whole stealth, hiding in the tall grass, throwing shit to distract people. Then they was like, let's all do it. You got a stealth game is gonna have the same shit in it. Hide in tall grass, throw rocks, distract people, and that's it. So like GTA 6, don't think they're not looking at Cyberpunk and be like, oh, we're gonna totally do better than that. Mind you, this is a company with over $6 billion. Now, if you got $6 billion and you taking 10 years to make one game, which you don't need, because I said it don't take 10 years to make one game, bro. Unless it's in development hell somewhere. But 10 years to make one game, nah. That's not even a logical thing. Like if you're just straight got a team of 400 plus people, and you got millions of dollars at your disposal, it does not take you 10 years to make one fucking game. Anyway, so I'm like, no, it's just like I said, it wouldn't take you long to make this shit. But all these companies are taking notes of this. Like if, like who was like they say Saints Row 5 would be a thing. Now you telling me that they're not looking at Cyberpunk and be like, man, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, what was that, Steelport? I mean, that was like a futuristic type city. So they got an excuse to be like, oh, we got neon signs too and all this like glowing shit. So, but I mean, this if it's Deep Silver handling it, then it'd be like it's not gonna be any good. But like I said, that's like, come on, they taking notes. All these games that got open world titles are taking notes. So if this is like some people are saying like, oh, this is gonna be on some grand thing. The next open world game that comes out, they're gonna be like, Cyber who? Especially GTA, because it's been propped up as like almost like the king of open world games. So any news of GTA 6 that pops up, oh, Cyberpunk is gonna be a distant memory basically, because at least GTA is going to be third and first person instead of this whole, we're going to have first person because we want people to be immersed in the game. And I hate when people use content and immerse in these motherfucking videos. Like the whole immersion, immerse, content is that those two words are annoying at this point. No, I'm like, damn, shut up. But yeah, these games, these companies are taking notes. They've been taking notes years before the shit came out. Soon as they popped up with Night City, soon as the first images of that shit came up, they was like, we got to do something about it. Then on top of that, I'm pretty sure there's people, um, like in the industry that was feeding each other information. Like, damn, this city was this, and they already knew how it was going to be years before anybody else seen it. So, my man. So So I'm like I said, I see how it goes. And then it goes back to the whole hype thing. Now, like I said, I've been working on Unreal for a while, ever since January, really. And and when everybody was talking about Unreal Engine 5, I mean, the people was acting crazy. And I'm like, look, on some real shit, I'm gonna just tell people, cuz a lot of people don't know. Like, I'm kind of like in between the industry and not being in the industry, put it that way. Because a lot of things people was hyping up over about Unreal Engine 5, not saying it's not good. I'm not saying it's not good. But it's like all that noise that said, oh, it's not noise, it's really pixels. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but the average person's computer, you can't really, I mean, not saying you can't run it, but I mean, thinking like you can pull all that extra shit and still be cool is kind of like, I don't know about that. But the thing is, you can still get by with 4K textures. Some even say, even though I slightly agree and disagree with this at the same time. No, it depends on what you're trying to do. You can get by with 2K textures. Like, you don't have to go far beyond 4K, and 8K is out of the question. If you find something that's 8K, I mean, that's cool, but you're doing too much. You're just doing too much if you trying to, like, I got 8K textures in my shit. It's like, you're doing too much, bro. So I'm like, he's seeing all the noise and people hyped up. Oh my god! Ah! And it was like these three nutsacks. Is this dude that he reviews games? He got his like cousin or something with him, and some other dude. I mean, just jumping all over each other. It's like, look, you can literally use the Unreal Engine because there's already like a noise brush in the shit that is going to raise the tessellation into your terrain. You can use a flat 2K or 4K texture, and it will look like you PBR'd the shit, physical based rendering with nodes and the PBR and shit. It will look like that because you use the noise to raise up your map anyway. It's like taking a bumpy surface and placing notebook paper on top of it and pressing down. Like, the the texture is the piece of paper. You already made the thing bumpy, so once you place the material on it, it's going to look raised up anyway. So that's a one way to get around like the physical based rendering, depending on what you're doing. Not like, you know what I mean? If you're like doing a brick wall and you don't want it flat, then you got the diffuse normal displacement. Then you could raise it up and do whatever. But all I'm saying is, you don't have to get Unreal Engine 5 to pull off Unreal Engine 5 type shit. The only way it'll be a thing if somebody pointed out to you how 5 is better. It's not going to be a humongous jump from 4 to 5. Now, maybe like Unreal Engine 6 or 7, yes, definitely 6 or 7. Just like with Fruity Loops. I got Fruity Loops 10. I had 9, and then I upgraded to 10. And I'm like, there's really no difference. So I was like, let me wait. And I think they had X1 or X, the 11. And then I didn't get it because it's like there's not gonna be any difference. So recently when I started working on my um lo-fi beats and I'm looking up tutorials, I'm like, damn, they got up to 20. See, now I could get in because it's a drastic difference. But if you got something like Fruity Loops 10 to 11, there's not going to be that much in it to really be like, oh, I got to hurry up and get it. And I'm so hyped. Case in point, with Fruity Loops, it's called, what's it called? Vinyl Isotope. It's a plug-in. And when you hear lo-fi music, you hear that sound. It sounds like an old it sounds like an old record being played, and you hear that scratching. There's a plug-in called Vinyl Isotope or Isotope Vinyl. It's one of those. It's those two words, I can't remember in which order. And you could adjust the levels to make the scratch louder or however you want to. But I don't know when that was implemented or whatever the case is. Since I have Fruity Loops 10, it's definitely not on there. And I'm doing this on a 2005 laptop. But you can get the vinyl effects with which sounds like this record is scratching. You can get the effects, put it in Fruity Loops, chop it up, stretch it, or put it in where you want it to be in your song, and it will sound like you had the plug-in. That was a way to get around it. So it's just like Unreal. You don't need 5 to get around the shit. Not saying they didn't put any real shit in it, but it's like at what they are providing at this point, you can still make your shit look good with 4. That's all I'm saying. And with people like that don't know, I mean, like I said, I could see the hype if you don't know and you looking at this shit like, oh, this is how PlayStation 5 is gonna look and the Unreal, but it's just like I can pull that off without getting Unreal Engine 5. Just like with like Cyberpunk and Night City. I mean, at this point working on this program, I could recreate Night City. The only thing that I don't like doing is doing a one-to-one creation. I'm not going to make the exact replica of the shit because that's too tedious. It's already tedious working on this to a certain degree. Now trying to get every little single detail is just like, it would just be like a Night City inspired city. You know what I mean? Because it's real easy to do. It's just a tedious process. That's all. That's the only real issue behind the whole thing. It's just a tedious process. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's pretty much like, you know, and then especially if you got the materials for the shit, like rusty metal, um what's called imperfect. It's called imperfect something. Where it's not a material, but it's like it's a material, but it doesn't look like a solid thing. It's like imperfect fingerprints or smears or some shit, you know, on top of your metal, and then you could use nodes for that. I mean, it's just like certain stuff is kind of like, you know, you could pull a lot of this stuff off, like if you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, you know. But I mean, like I said, when you get to a certain point, like especially if you like in video games, I mean, this shit is cool. I'm not saying Night City isn't a cool looking game. But it's like at a certain point, like especially like actually being involved in making something. I mean, you know how the sausage is made now. So that's basically what I'm getting at. But I'm like I said, I'm not taking away from the fans that like the shit. I mean, no, I mean it's a cool thing. You like it, I mean that's cool. I mean, cause like I said, if it wasn't me, and like if I couldn't do it, oh, I like I said, Cyberpunk, especially if I was a first person shooter fan, I would live in Night City. That would be the shit. That would be the shit. But I mean, not everybody can do this. To say like, you know, like I said, Night City, dude. You know what I mean? That's the city right there. On some real shit, that is the city. Night City looks like some cool shit. Wait a minute. Yeah. Let's see. Like I said, this shit is a cool place. Nah, dude, don't rotate. Ain't this a bitch? Look at this. What the fuck are you doing, dude? Oh my god. I mean, if you trying to like, you know what I mean? Oops. God damn. Let's see. I don't know. Cause I'm trying to test out my own theory, to be honest. Well, it's not. It's not a theory. It's not a theory. I'm just saying. Just saying. Damn, dude, not that. Four. I don't know how far back I go. Oh, okay. I'm just saying. No, I'm not doing that either. I mean, but this is just like a mock-up. I mean, this is not like a serious thing. I just tried to put like a balcony or something, and then these would be like the windows. And then you just hit them with this shit. And then you got your like, here's the first floor, the first box. This is the entrance where the lobby is, like the part of the bottom part of the pyramid. This is the first floor, the second floor, and then you just gonna like, you know what I'm saying? This your building right here, 114 stories. This is your shit. This is a building. I mean, the static mesh building. Again, this is not serious. So I don't want people eventually seeing this like, oh, this building is whack. I mean, this is just a mock-up. I mean, it's just, but that's your building. 114 floors is your base. You got an elevator inside. But again, like, I mean, people are not in this shit, you know. Um, you got your roof. You got somebody on top of that shit. No. I mean, this is it. This is the building. But now, if you're trying to do interiors in this shit, because this is like a static building, like you can't go in it. And obviously, I mean, you gotta put doors and windows in, god damn it. But I mean, once you put that on the first floor, you ain't gotta keep redoing this shit over again for the next 113 times. You just do it once. How long it took me to do that? Like, how long it take me to do that? Like, less than 5 minutes. But again, if you're doing shit like for real, like with an interior, you're gonna have to put a little bit more work into it. You know what I'm saying? So I could just sit here for a year and just make buildings. Like, cause it took me from April to motherfucking now to make as many characters and weapons I got, and like bracelets and just little things. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine just sitting here just making buildings. And if I'm trying to get into the building game, I'm making all my shit with interiors. You can go in every one of them bitches and do shit in them. You see what I'm saying? I'm not making like I said, me and my friend always wanted to play a game where you could go in every building, every house, and every building, and nobody ever did it, or nobody ever wanted to. And then plus the technology, the capabilities of shit at the time back in like PlayStation 2 era, who would have done that? You know, it's just the important shit that means something to the story. And so now I'm in the position where it's like, damn, I can make my own shit. You goddamn right, I'm gonna make the shit like you can go into all the buildings everywhere. I'm not fucking around. You think I'm not? I mean, because you saw how the shit is. Once you make the first floor, I'm like, oh shit. But there's like a thing though that I'm like really thinking about, because you know you're gonna have to put steps in it, and if you make them the exact, like you put one and stack them on top of each other, the steps are always going to be bumping into the wall. It's not going to be like the other way around so you can go up them shits. So I was thinking like, damn, like I'm really thinking, okay, you can't just use, you have to like plan some shit out first. You just can't be like, oh, I'm gonna just make this and just be like, where am I going with this? And this fucks up. Nah, you gotta consider some shit first before you get involved into thinking like, oh, look how easy this is. Like, I mean, it's just I've been thinking about it long enough to be like, okay, this is how you do it. But you know what I'm saying? There's like a couple of things that need to be like planned out first. So I'm like I said, I'm looking at Night City and I'm like, yeah, it's cool. No, I ain't taking that shit away. That shit is phenomenal. I mean, they got the floating fish and shit like in Ghost in the Shell. I'm like, okay. You got the holograms and the neon signs. I mean, fuck it. Vegas, Tokyo, South Korea, those are the cities. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to go to them cities. I'm all for that. I'm all for Night City. But I'm just like, damn. I mean, people got hyped, they disappointed. But I'm about to play that shit though. We gonna see. I'm not even gonna post the shit up on YouTube to be fucking honest. I'm gonna just, because it's already taken me long enough to post like upload this shit to YouTube, and especially if I'm like over an hour, like I'm an hour and 4 minutes now, it's like nah, cause yesterday took too long. I had a 2 hour video. I'm like, fuck that, dude. Nah. So that's why I be like, don't be really going in, cause I'm like talking, trying to be engaging and saying shit. Then I'm trying to work on this and trying to focus on what I'm doing, and it's just like, you know what I mean. Then it's like uploading the shit. So it's just already right now I'm about to bounce because it's an hour, so I'm gonna just, you know, so it won't take long uploading. So I'm like, that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to leave, and then I'm gonna try to like really design that jacket that I was working on. Like, I have a general idea, but you know what I mean? Oh, and another thing about these houses and like making buildings and shit. I mean, if you really think about it, check this out. To not overwhelm yourself is something I thought about. Don't think about your neighborhood like we'll take a neighborhood has a lot of houses. Don't look at it in the terms of the volume of how many houses that are in your neighborhood. Basically, look at it like how many style of houses are there, I would say, technically in America. Like you got in like places in the Southwest, you got the Adobe style houses. You got a two-story house, uh, single story house like a ranch style house. You got um, what else you got? You got mansions, but those are like different styles of mansions. So we're gonna separate those. Like basically, I would say there's off the dome. There's about like less than 20 style of houses. It's like once you make that, like the houses on the block I live on, or just anybody's block, the houses are the same. They're all structured the same on your block, particular block. The only difference is, somebody may have added on something, or but the inside is furnished different. So it's like the furniture and the tile, if it's wood or tile or whatever, those are the things that's really going to separate it. But that aside, the style of houses is really not that many of them. It's not like you have to like recreate like over 100 houses. You see what I'm saying? I mean, there's only a few style of houses. Once you make the Adobe house and then like a two-story house, single like ranch style house, flat one floor, no basement, no den or nothing. You basically made a lot of houses. Like I said, the only difference is like when you start to get into mansions, because you got people got different styles, and I would say if you make like 40 type of mansions, I mean, and you can go in each and every one of them and have the ability to keep changing the style of house. Players are not going to enter all these houses and be like, oh, they just recreated this or they duplicated this. Like if you have so many of them or those particular mansions in abundance, you see what I'm saying? Like nobody's really going to complain. People gonna be like, oh shit, you can go in this house and that house too. It's just like with buildings, like office buildings. The only real challenge is the outside of the shit. But the inside, I mean, you like office buildings, you got your cubicles, the lobby is going to be the most spacious because you're going to have the receptionist desk. You may have a couple of rooms on the side, but mostly it's just an open space in the lobby. And then like hotel rooms. I mean, hotel rooms are the same. You could use the same like technique idea. Just make one room. Like if you're doing like a hotel, got different levels. You make one hotel room, and you keep duplicating them. Apply the shit. You can duplicate or mirror the shit on the other side, so that takes care of the other side. Make your already have a floor, and you're gonna use the floor as the ceiling also, and then you just rock out with your cock out. And I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what else could? I mean, like I said, the only tedious part is because I'm gonna separate my walls and floors so I could have. I know I have the freedom that I could keep changing the shit all the time without the walls and floors merging with each other. Like the floors are gonna be his own thing, like the separate object, the wall, so I could just put different textures or whatever, and then you just keep it pushing. And if you got like time, and gave myself a 20-year window, I mean, who's to say how many, if I just dedicated all my time, like a whole year to making like structures and buildings and houses. I mean, I already got over 50 something weapons, 200 something characters. I mean, damn. And that's, especially with characters, are way more harder than anything. Because you have to make a person. I mean, a building, you can get by with some shit. Like, I just got one bedroom. I got a studio apartment, basically, and that's it. You know what I mean? But that's the get down. Now I'm out. Because I'm going to be looking. Oh, see? Damn. Oh, why I do it? Why I do it like that? Why did I do it? I'm just... But see, I bet dude is already gone, man. I bet dude is already gone. You Killer Z. Shout out to You Killer Z. But like I said, I'm about to bounce though. I'm seriously about to bounce out of here. And the man said it's 2 o'clock in the after. Oh, I was about to say it's 2 o'clock. Damn, it is. You Killer Z. I hope you still on here. And I'm like, how is it in Brazil? I mean, it's 2, you said it's 2. It's 2 in the afternoon. Like I said, it seemed like it would be a little later than that. In Brazil? Yeah. But I want to see something. Let me see if it will go. You know what I'm gonna do? That's what's up. Alright, how you get this off? Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Timeout. Yeah. Damn, how you get it off though? Cause I don't have no people on my shit, so I'm like kind of looking at this stream, and like I said, I don't have a second screen, so I can't see the shit until it's too late. And I'm not 100% clear on what I'm doing, so I'm just like, oh, seeing that shit was like, damn. See, that was 11:07, 11:08 when he sent me that, and I'm looking at the shit. It's 11:20. So he probably dipped a long time ago. See, that's what I'm saying. I be missing out on people checking my shit because I got to keep going back to OBS in my program. You know? So I'll be putting this shit up on YouTube. But I have to holler at my man. Oh, that's how, okay. Let me look at dude. See, no, I don't believe this shit sometimes. Yeah, I don't be believing this shit sometimes. But like I said, I'm out, man. I'm out anyway. You Killers Z, and all these other folks, man. I catch y'all on the flip side. I'm out this bitch.